Well, I guess you guys didn't expect me to come with an audio clip. Well, there's two reasons for that. One is I've got the Eddie Guerrero facial hair going at the moment. I pretty much look almost identical to Eddie Guerrero right now with this facial hair. And so maybe I'll come on camera again with the Eddie Guerrero facial hair, but that'll be my choosing. Anyways, the second reason I'm doing this audio is that I've got somebody here who wanted to make this video. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm a friend of Monoxide's. I have my own channel, but whatever. We'll get into that later, because this isn't like pimping out channel time. This is video audio response, I guess.
Yes, if any of you remember Al, he was on the WrestleMania trip with us, but that's beyond the point. This is pretty much going to be a video response to Assault and Battery 777, who pretty much made a video based on The Miz. Now, I'm going to put all my bias aside for The Miz, because everybody knows on here that out of all the wrestlers currently, Miz is my favorite wrestler. But let's get into the topic of this video, shall we? I know Assault and Battery goes off to state that, and this is probably the weakest argument that people have, and that is that Miz should not be getting his push because he was from a reality TV show before he became a wrestler. And the argument that I always have for that is, well, what about guys like MVP and Booker T? Because guess what they were doing before they became wrestlers? You want to know what they were doing? They were spending time in jail for bad things, bad, naughty things, you know? I don't know exactly what they were in jail for, but I know they spent time in jail for doing bad things. I think MVP served quite a few years in jail.
I think it was. Yeah, I don't remember how many years, but the thing is, a background, especially a background like spending time in jail or even a reality TV show, that comes into play, especially with storylines, because that's a good angle to book off of. That isn't a con, really, especially if you're getting into wrestling. That could be a pro.
But now he's saying that, oh, he shouldn't be pushed because he's from a reality TV show. And it's like, okay, so anything he does in the wrestling business is nullified, or should be nullified because he was a reality TV star. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. I'm sorry, that argument drives me goddamn crazy, because so because he did stuff outside of the WWE before he joined it, he should just, like, be tanked. Even if he improves in the ring, even if he puts on 5-star matches, if he makes a great character, if he gets over, whatever, none of that matters, because that reality TV... you guys are sounding like the people who hate on Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit should not be acknowledged. He wasn't a great wrestler. He wasn't this and that because he killed his family. It's like, come on.
Another wrestler that everyone seems to love, and I do too, Mickie James, a great female wrestler. Did you know that before she was in WWE, she did a little pornographic shoot?
And doesn't
she did?
I'm not surprised, to be honest, but
it's as soon as you Google her name, it pops right up if you have the filter off, which I always have my filter off. So it popped up, and I was like, oh my god, this is her. It's from a long time ago, but it's her, and she was actually asked about that in an interview, and she didn't really want to speak about it, but it is her. She did like a wrestling porno shoot. Backgrounds before you get into wrestling, why does that mean anything unless it can be used for a storyline?
I mean, also, I had another name. Isn't Shelly Martinez doing some pornographic stuff?
Yeah, she's been doing that for a while, actually. She's been doing, like, what is it, burlesque? Something like that.
Yeah.
And by the way, my reasoning for being on this is, even though I do like Miz, I'm not the biggest fan of him as, like, Monoxide is, so I'm trying to balance it out here. But regardless, I do, like Monoxide, 100% disagree, because I understand if someone doesn't like Miz. Don't like him if you don't, you know, that's your opinion, obviously. But to say that a guy who's worked hard in this business, and he has, obviously, especially if you've gone through Bradshaw, of all people, a very well-known bully in pro wrestling, I think you do deserve somewhat of a push, and he didn't even get it immediately, too.
And you mentioned hard work, and that pretty much goes right into the next point, which is he admittedly says that The Miz is hardworking. He's been promoting WWE like crazy. He's been doing a lot of things outside of the WWE to promote the WWE, such as TV guest appearances, etc. Like the prime example, the latest thing that they did, that stand-up with George Lopez, him, David Otunga, Dolph Ziggler, and I can't remember who else. I could get
And he's been doing a lot of conferences. He's been to like a few G4 tapings for like these big video game or Comic-Con conferences, things like that.
Him and Eve Torres were doing an autograph signing for a video game, promoting the video game SmackDown Show 2011. But okay, let's get with the hard-working thing. So I don't get this in the slightest, because he goes off and says that if Miz becomes world champion or becomes the future, then the WWE is just going to be downhill and it's going to be crap or some shit like that. And to that I say, I mean, the guy is working hard. Everybody has established this. Everybody has pretty much agreed on this. What is so bad about WWE pushing somebody that worked hard for his spot? I mean, because the way I see it, if you say that The Miz does not deserve a spot and the WWE was to listen to you, then you're just sending the wrong message to the locker room, saying that, oh, you don't have to work hard to become the best. In fact, if you work hard, you'll get nowhere. If you kiss the right ass, then that's where you'll go somewhere. Because think about it. There's only been 2 guys they've been pushing as of late as main role players as far as new talent. The Miz and Sheamus. And Sheamus did not get where he is from hard work. Not saying that Sheamus isn't a hard worker, but saying that he didn't get his spot because he worked hard. He got his spot because of Triple H's approval. Same with Drew McIntyre. He's getting his push because of freaking approval from Triple H. You can argue that Randy Orton didn't get his push because of hard work. He got his push because he's the son of Bob Orton Jr. Batista, approval of Triple H. Who else was a main guy that was created?
Honestly,
John
I think
Cena, but
John Cena is a prime example of someone who did work hard and who, honestly, you hate the guy as much as you want to, and I'm not a fan. I think his jokes are shit. But the guy worked obviously very hard to get where he is, and even with my dislike of him, I can see that, and I respect him for that. I also have a lot of respect for The Miz for not only coming from botching promos with the Diva Search.
Hoorah!
He then goes on to do a little wrestling on SmackDown as a crappy heel that no one likes. I mean, I don't even know if he was trying to be a heel, but regardless, no one liked him. He got very little reaction. And his 2 moves were that clothesline in the corner that he still does today, and the knee into a neckbreaker. Those were the 2 moves. That was it.
I think that's called the Wizard of Oz or some shit.
And it was awful, and that's how it was for almost a year. And I was honestly, I saw no potential in the guy. I thought he was going to fail, like a lot of people did, and I thought he was going to be released on ECW. But then he slowly started to improve, and his character was really showing with Morrison on the dirt sheet. And then after that, of course, the rest is history, with him going to Raw, and all of that happened after that.
You know what I regret? I don't have my old videos, because there's another point that people bring out, is that people are just jumping on the bandwagon of liking The Miz. If I had my old videos up, you will see that I have defended The Miz on numerous occasions back in 2007 when he was maybe even before he started teaming with John Morrison. And because I've always liked The Miz, I saw not complete potential as a world champion from when he was starting, unlike Carlito, who had somewhat of the same gimmick as far as goofiness or corniness is concerned, but at least Carlito was a lot more believable. The Miz wasn't exactly believable. So I started defending The Miz. I'm like, this guy's not as bad as you're saying he is. And with that, he teamed with Morrison, and he became bigger. And you could say that Miz overall right now is better than Morrison, besides in-ring work. I mean, of course, Morrison is better in the ring than The Miz, but Miz kicks his ass everywhere else. And I like Morrison. I think Morrison's a very talented athlete, but Morrison can't cut a promo to save his life as far as a face goes. He gets good face reactions, but it's not. It pales in comparison to Miz's heel reactions. He's mad. Like I said, I don't know why they won't push Morrison, but the Miz right now.
Miz has a lot better competition too, especially competition that not only elevates him, but has elevated the person that he's been working with. Miz, even though it didn't feel like it at first, I think in some ways he did get elevated with his feud with John Cena. Even though Monoxide, you say that he was buried, and yes, that argument can be very well made, but from out of those ashes of burial, I guess you could say, Miz once again brought himself to a new plateau of how big his heel heat is and how big his character is. And plus, he's also developed his moveset. I think he has done that very well, even though it's still in the works, obviously. And yeah, okay, he will need to work on his wrestling ability, but he has developed himself as far as body tone goes, body mass. The dude was a scrawny little prick when he came into wrestling, and now look at him. He actually looks like he can hold a championship, and that's saying something.
So, let's get this straight, mind you. A man who works hard, who busts his ass, who is actually getting a push because he's working hard, that's a negative thing. I don't get that in the slightest. You people want... I mean, you guys didn't want Sheamus or Drew McIntyre to get pushed. Fair enough. Now we're giving you a guy that actually earns his right to be a main eventer, and now you're saying, no, we don't want this. It's like, give me a break. And to top it off, Assault and Battery goes off and says that he was responsible for this era going PG, which I don't know where in the hell he's coming from on that. I mean, I hope I'm misinterpreting what he's saying, because maybe he's trying to say something else that I just didn't pick up on. But if what you said is true, and that is he's responsible, or partly responsible for the era going PG, mind you, they were going PG right around the time that Miz was getting buried, okay? Miz was getting completely buried by Cena, and to be honest, here's another thing that deserves Miz credit. He got buried completely, and he recovered from that. Within a year. Within a year of being buried. Not even a year. I think people could start saying
8 or 9 months.
No, I mean, people started to buy Miz as legitimate starting around, I don't want to say Survivor Series, because he along with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre were the last of the surviving team on his group. But I would say around early 2010, they started to believe that he could be something. I mean, The Miz has it. He has what
it takes.
Exactly. He has the mic skills. He has the capability of getting over. Oh, and people start saying he has a generic catchphrase. Oh, because if you smell what The Rock is cooking didn't become generic after a while. Because, quite frankly, I love The Rock. I always love The Rock. But, for God's sakes.
That is something that Miz, I think he actually has already gotten over that, even though it's a great way to end a promo. When Miz got mic time at SummerSlam, that's all he needed. All he needed was the damn mic, and he had those fans for like the 10 minutes or so that the promo was. 5, 10 minutes, whatever. And it was another great Miz promo. And he gets me to believe, and that's something that very few wrestlers can do right now, is to get me to believe in them. And Miz can do that.
Well, I'm going to end it with this because I think we've went on long enough. If you're going to dislike The Miz, it's fine, but give a valid reason, because I don't see where people are coming from when they say he doesn't deserve his push because he's a TV reality star, he's this and that, even though he's worked hard to get his spot, and deservingly so. So, whatever. just keep up, because I think Miz is going to be world champion one day, and when he does, that's when the shit's going to really go far.
That's when I think we're going to see even more bandwagon jumpers.
Well, anyways, this is Monoxide.
And I'm Al, the Wrestling Mind. That's my channel.
I'll put it on the description. Anyways, take care.